Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kensthetic, and I'm here with you guys today to discuss a topic that has just been on my mind for a while now, and I was like, let me sit down in front of my camera and just speak how I feel about it and let you guys know. A lot of people didn't really know about this when I brought it up to them, so I was like, it's probably gonna be like an informative video for some as well, but I just feel so many types of way about this topic because I can relate 100%. And it's also a mixture of two of my favorite things, which is one, travel, and two, hair care, or natural hair, textured hair. So yeah, so before we get into it, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, join the family, because why not? And if you guys enjoyed this video, which I hope you guys will, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And also, if you guys like this video, if you like me doing videos like this, comment down below and let me know so I know what kind of videos you guys are enjoying and looking forward to and interacting with. So go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up so that I know. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So as you guys know, I may not know if you guys are new, I travel a lot. I travel for work, I travel for personal. I just love traveling. It just does something to me. I don't know what it is, but I just like traveling. So a common trend that I have noticed while traveling is that when I go through the metal detectors at TSA, I don't know, I'm a nosy person. I'm very nosy. If you know me, you know I'm very nosy. So if I go through those detectors and they tell your sis to step to the side, the sis is going to turn to look to see the reason why I was told to step to the side. So every time I look, I always have yellow squares around my head. And I always thought about it. I'm just like, okay, when I have a wig, yellow squares. When I have faux locks, yellow squares. When I have twists, yellow squares. When I have my natural hair, yellow squares. When I have my deep conditioner in, yellow squares. And I'm like, yo, like, what is it? Like, I don't get it. It's never my armpits. It's never my waist. It's never my legs. It's always my head. So I started like going online and looking things up. And then when I was in Grenada with my coworker, we were actually speaking about it. And she told me like, hey, I saw this article. So I went online and looked at it. And it was basically an article about TSA singling out African-American women to pat their hair down as a part of TSA security procedures. And once I saw this, I was like, hold up, holiday. Okay, so once I read that article, I was like, this is the answer to my questions, possibly. So I read the article. I'll go ahead and link it down below. I'll link a whole bunch of articles and information down below that I'll reference throughout this video, just so you guys could read up on what the details were, what receipts I looked through and flipped through before making this video. So yeah, so I just want to throw a disclaimer out there very quickly before I get into anything else, because I don't want y'all coming for me in the comments. I don't want y'all coming for me on Instagram. So the girls are gonna set the disclaimer right now, okay? So I want y'all to watch this whole video before commenting on anything I say in this video. I want y'all to listen to this video with an open mind. I know that's kind of hard for some people to do once they have their mind and their opinion set about a certain topic, but I want you guys to watch this whole video with an open mind and then go ahead and comment and then go ahead and DM me on Instagram, okay? So my thoughts and opinions after reading the article. So I'll put the article down below. I won't summarize it because I just feel like this video is already going to be super long. But basically, first I want to summarize the problem for people who aren't aware of this topic or aren't aware of what's going on around this topic. So basically what the articles, what the news, what the girls are saying is that TSA is basically singling out African-American women to pat their hair down and perform additional security procedures because of their hair. And females are, you know, embarrassed, and people are confused / concerns, like, why me, why us, like, why is this happening to us, this is embarrassing. And sis, I absolutely understand your concerns. I understand your opinions, because every single time that I go through TSA, I always, ma'am, can you step aside real quick, please? And then female, if it's a male, you know, the same procedures over and over again. Like, I'm kind of used to it by now, but at this point, after reading this, after reading people's reviews, concerns, opinions, I'm honestly over it. So first of all, what I want to say, remember, this is my personal opinion, is that I don't think that this is a race thing. and a lot of people are saying, like, you know, African American hair, African American woman, black hair, black woman. And the first point, or the first question I want to put out there is, what is black hair? What is black hair? Does that mean that you put a jet black rinse in your hair? I don't understand what black hair is. And that is a very, very, like, huge misconception that I hear all the time. It's like, oh, well, black hair this, and you have black hair, and that's black hair, and black hair, black hair, black hair. And I honestly don't think there's any such thing as black hair. And the way I knew I was not bugging with this thought is that I went to a panel, and Jane Carter from Jane Carter Solutions was on it, and someone asked her a question, and they included the term black hair. And she asked them, like, what is black hair? There's no such thing as black hair. And I was like, oh my God, I always thought this, but I never really wanted to say it, because I feel like a lot of I don't really like speaking on controversial topics. This is why I was kind of hesitant to do this video, because everybody has their thoughts, everybody has their opinions, and there's so many ignorant people and uneducated people in this world and on social media that it makes it difficult for people to actually, like, try to express the way that they feel about certain things. But anyways, to get back on track, there's no such a thing as black hair. Black hair is not a thing. It's either textured hair, curly hair, kinky hair, coily hair. There is no such thing as black hair. So I just want to put that out there. So the fact that people are surrounding this topic or basing this topic on African American hair, black hair, it's not really a race thing, and that's just my personal opinion. I believe that this problem is women with textured hair. It's not black hair, because there's no such thing as black hair. It's not African American women, because when you go through that machine, to my knowledge, a machine can't scan and say, hey, this is an African American woman, pull them aside and just touch your hair just because they're African American. And so I feel like the problem is that the TSA machines that we step through, and, you know, we put our arms up. I'm not gonna put mine up because I don't remember if I shaved. We put our arms up and spread our legs. It basically reads the density of our hair. African American women, being, I guess, like, number one in this area, usually have more dense hair than women of other races. Women who are Hispanic usually have more dense hair than women of other races. So to me, when I was reading the articles, most of the women who were writing the articles were African American, but there also were some Hispanic women who wrote these articles as well. So the first thing I want to say is that I don't believe that this is a race topic. I don't believe this is a race issue. I think it's more so textured hair rather than black hair or African American hair. So I just wanted to put that out there real quick. Okay, sis? So along that topic, if you have dense hairstyles such as, you know, kinky hair, curly hair, box braids, faux locks, a wig, a sew-in, or anything else that the creatives are coming up with to put on our heads nowadays, when you go to that machine, it's going to read the density of your hair. And I guess there's some correlation in the TSA machines that say this person's hair is more dense than whatever our benchmark is. Please step up, like, pull them aside and check their hair, which is what the text, those yellow squares on our hair that I mentioned earlier. So with that thought, by the way, I have my notebook here because I had all my notes. I didn't want to, like, miss out on any of the tea or opinions that I had. So yeah, so I honestly think that it impacts African American women and Hispanic women the most, which is why when you read these articles that I'm gonna link down below, they're mainly written by these types of women. But I personally have been through TSA before and saw a and saw a white woman with textured curly hair, and she had to get pat down on her hair because I'm guessing the TSA machine read it and said her hair is more dense than whatever our benchmark is, so please do additional procedures around her hair. So moving along, because we already, what, at like 9 minutes? So moving along, why do I think that it's a problem? So I definitely think it's a problem that TSA is kind of like singling out women with more textured hair, more dense hair to perform additional security procedures. But why do I think that it's a problem? One, I just think that it's embarrassing for anybody, not even like the whole hair situation, but anybody to be pulled aside for additional security procedures when they know that they're innocent, or they know that they're not trying to like smuggle drugs, guns, or knives, or whatever they claim could be in our hairstyles or, you know, on us when we ain't got it, sis. We don't got it. So I just think it's just embarrassing for anybody who's not doing something to kind of be accused, or there's some type of like assumption that the person is guilty or trying to do something when they're seriously not. It's just that their hair is more dense than whatever benchmark they put on these damn machines. The second reason, and probably the main reason why I think that this is a problem, is that when it happens, the TSA workers don't necessarily tell you what your options are. And it's very frustrating for me because, so backstory, when I was in college, I used to go to the Black Student Union's general body meeting. Shout out to BSU at Binghamton University. But I used to go to those meetings, and it really made me realize how unaware people in our community are of our rights. And that is one thing that I always like focus on one thing that I always try to like inform people about, like my friends and just people I hang around, because I believe that it's such a huge problem that people don't know what rights they have. So to have to go through a machine and be pulled aside for somebody to perform additional security procedures on your hair just because you have dense hair or your hairstyle is more dense than whatever crappy benchmark they put on their machines, I think that it's very imperative for the TSA workers to let people know what their rights are and what their options are for these additional security procedures. A part of me is like, okay, I understand that they're doing these additional procedures for like the safety of airplane riders. I absolutely understand that. But the fact that this has been a problem since 2015 and we haven't really seen much change as far as, you know, maybe like a higher benchmark on machines or some type of correlation so that we're not being pulled aside every time we step through that machine for them to pat our hair down. I just think that there needs to be some type of changes in these machines. Since 2015, y'all, 4 years, and don't mind my chip nail, but 4 years, and there hasn't really been any changes. So to me, it's like, do you guys really understand that there's a problem, and do you guys understand what the problem is? It's just very frustrating for me as a textured hair girl, as you guys can see, but it's also embarrassing, which I do understand. But at the same time, the fact that the TSA workers aren't making us aware of our rights or what the options we have when it comes to performing these additional procedures is what I believe is the main problem. Which brings me to my next point, which is, what options do textured hair customers, textured hair riders, women or males who are pulled aside for these reasons, what options do we have? So the first one is that, I'm going to give a backstory and then I'll get to my point. But basically, when I was traveling to Vegas, I wore my natural hair. And, you know, the yellow squares popped up per usual. And I was like, this time, I know I'm going to make this video soon. So let me collect my little data, my little information, my little tea to include in my video. So, you know, they were like female. They called a female TSA worker to come and pat my hair down. And before she touched my hair, I was like, excuse me, what are my options? Because I don't believe, it's very ridiculous for me to believe that I wouldn't have an option to like be pat down in like a private room, or for you to change your little stinky gloves that you was touching up on people's bodies with to touch my hair that is freshly washed in deep condition. Like, it makes no sense to me. So I asked her, like, what are my options? And she was like, oh, I can bring you into a private room, or I can give you, I don't know if you guys ever saw when they pull like your carry-on bag aside and they put like a little swab on the perimeter of your bag, and then they put it in a machine to basically read that swab. But she was basically telling me that she can give me a swab and I could, like, you know, rub it wherever the yellow squares popped up, and then she'll put it in a machine and test it, and I guess take it back. So I was like, okay, you could go ahead and change your gloves and pat my hair down, because I was running a little late for my flight and I just wanted to go, okay? So, yeah, so the first thing is that the TSA worker has to ask you if they can pat your hair, because you do have another option, which is basically them giving you that swab or whatever they call it, and you rubbing it in whatever areas the yellow square decided to, you know, call out, and then they run that through the machine and test it. So that's the first option that you have. The second option is that if you opt to have your hair pat down, make sure that they put on new gloves, sis. You don't know where those gloves been. You don't know whose stinky body, whose stinky whatever they was patting down before they came to you. So make sure that they put on new gloves before they pat your hair down, because we don't need any contamination in our hairs, okay? And then the last option is you can ask for a supervisor, or you can request a private screening in, you know, a private area or a private room. And when you do that private screening, you can be accompanied by a companion of your choice. So you don't have to go alone. You can tell your sis or your friend or your boo or your bae or whoever you're traveling with, like, please, you know, come in the room with me to make sure, you know, everything is going right and they don't do anything wrong during these procedures. So that is another option that you have as well. The fact that I even had to sit down and make this video in 2019, like, really got me tight. But it's just a topic and something that I experienced so much that I was like, I'm sure you guys are experiencing it too. I'm sure that you guys have questions just like I did. So let me sit down real quick and give my sisters, my loves, my baes, the tea on what options you guys have. And just my general thoughts and opinions. So that's basically it. This is probably going to be a part 1. I'll probably do a part 2 depending on the discussion down below. And if you guys have any additional questions, any additional thoughts, or whatever, we could always make a part 2 to this video. So comment down below, let us know your thoughts. Let us know, have you experienced this before? Have you not experienced this before? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Make sure that you guys watch the whole video, and watch the whole video with an open mind before you guys go ahead and start commenting and saying, you know, things that just come off as ignorant. But make sure you guys subscribe to my channel by hitting that red subscribe button down below. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. Also, let me know if you guys like these kind of videos where I kind of just express my opinions on things that are going on hot topics. Comment down below and let me know, and I will be more than glad to do that, because as you guys know, I'm not afraid to speak on any topic or answer any questions. So go ahead and let the girls know. And as always, I'll go ahead and include my recent uploads here in case you guys are not caught up for whatever reason. And until my next upload, I will see you guys later.